Air Jordans or Air Jorbans? Gucci with an O? What? Well, did you know that copyright is a huge issue all around the world and here in Jamaica? If you're a manufacturer or a creative person, you produce music, art, anything that can be stolen, the idea can be stolen, you can register your intellectual property with JIPO. I'm Kalila Reynolds, and this is Money Moves, JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. I'm joined now by Marcus Goff. He is the legal officer and deputy director at the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, JIPO. Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Kalila.
So first of all, what is intellectual property?
When we speak of IP, for short, we're speaking of the creative outputs of the mind. You know, whether it be a song, a poem, fashion, design, an invention, a brand. We're talking about something that you have invented or created, which is yours and yours alone, and which you can treat as an asset that belongs to you or your company.
So what are we talking about? What are the different categories of intellectual property?
We're talking about patents for inventions, trademarks for your logos, your brands, your brand names, etc. Copyright covers music, art, drama, sculptures, films, broadcasts, etc. Then we have designs, designs for products, the shape of goods, fashion, etc. Those are the main IP types.
Okay, so what's the difference between copyright and trademark? Like, how do I know when I should use which one?
So a trademark is really a mark that symbolizes your brand to the public, to consumers. So if you think about you go into a supermarket, you want to buy, let's say, a cereal to eat, you're gonna choose between the several brands that are there. How do you know which brand is the one you chose the last time? You choose by looking at the symbol that you see, the name, the symbol on the box to see whether that is the one that you want. So that's a trademark, right?
Okay.
That's your mark that symbolizes you and your brand, your products, your services in the business of your trade.
So can you trademark just the name of something, or does it have to have a symbol attached?
You can trademark it just by using a simple word by itself, a symbol by itself, or a combination of both.
Okay, and what's the protection? Is it that anytime somebody else tries to use that, then what happens?
Without your permission, if they use it, then they have breached your rights. You have legal recourse under law to go to court for infringement and get compensation. Or you can also go to the police to help you to enforce your rights, to have them to stop using without your permission.
Yeah, I do notice that CTOC, the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch of the police, they do those raids frequently, and they burn stuff if it's found to be infringing on somebody's trademark.
Yes, once it goes through the court system and there's no longer use for it as evidence, it can be ordered to be destroyed. And then we do an annual destruction every IP week in April, where we have a public destruction of all those counterfeit goods that have been seized.
It's during IP week. When is IP week again?
It's normally the last week of every April.
Every April. Yeah. All right, so what's a patent?
A patent now covers those inventions that involve some area of science that you have come up with something new, a new product, a new process which has not been done or not been done in the way you have done it now. You can then have as a patent which is yours. And therefore, thereafter, nobody can use that product or that process without your permission. And that's how people who are inventors have the means to be able to negotiate licenses and to earn from their inventions.
I remember last year we spoke with Lily Claire Bellamy on this program, and she was telling me about copyright. And one of the things that stood out from that interview was that copyright is automatic. What do you mean it's automatic?
You don't have to go to register at JIPO or anywhere else. So the law says once your copyright work is in some tangible form, not in your head, but it's in paper, it's been recorded, it's in some physical format, it's automatically legally protected by the Copyright Act.
Oh.
But you can still choose to register at JIPO if you wish, because sometimes going to court, you want to have some proof of ownership, so you can still choose to register it, and we'll give you a certificate of registration to prove your ownership of it.
I was wondering about that because how do you prove that it is that you created this thing before somebody else created it?
Right. It's always going to be a challenge based on your evidence. If you can show maybe some early drafts that you had, which were dated, you know, or we often tell people about what is called poor man's copyright, where you would put it in an envelope and seal it and mail it to yourself. When it comes back to yourself, you keep it not opened, and then that will be some means of proof again, you know, if you need to. But again, it's not as ideal as if you have something from Jaipur, probably signed and sealed and dated, which says that this is your copyright work.
Is this really enforced in Jamaica though?
Definitely, definitely. If you go to court, you know, to enforce your IP rights, you can prove that you are the owner. You are entitled, once you can prove that there's been some infringement, right, to get court orders. So maybe an injunction to have the person stop using your property, or some other order for compensation. You can also use the police force, as you said, CTOC, to also help to enforce your rights in the streets. And so it is very much enforced by law.
And not just here, but against people who might be using it internationally. I recall the case with Miley Cyrus and Flower Gun.
Yes.
That was a high-profile case recently too.
Very true, very true. Yes, so they were able to prove that they were the copyright owner, and they were also able to prove that they were registered in the USA as the owner. And so they were using that platform to now sue and eventually negotiate a multi-million-dollar settlement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody breaches your copyright, and so there are a couple of things that you might want to do. You mentioned that you might want to get the police involved to have them stop.
Yes.
But do I get compensated?
Through the police action, not necessarily, no. Normally, you'd have to go to the Supreme Court to sue to get some compensation. But the police will at least have some quick action to have the infringers stop what they're doing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marcus. So on the next episode, Marcus is going to tell us how to value your intellectual property. And here's a quick recap of Marcus's main points. Intellectual property covers patents for inventions, trademarks for logos and brand names. Copyright covers music, art, drama, sculpture, film, and more, and design. And it's time for our giveaway. Here's the question. What's the difference between copyright and trademark? Answer on Exim Bank JA's Instagram page at Exim Bank JA, and you could win yourself a fabulous prize. And that's it for this episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, assisting small and medium enterprises with the tools to grow your business. I'm Kalila Reynolds. Till next time.